Well, today we have something very exciting to look at. This is the Mudita Pure. While everyone's off talking about the Pine phone and other open source phones, today we're going to be talking about a open source minimalist feature phone that frankly not enough people are talking about. Now, the reason for that might be because this thing is very expensive, especially for what it does. Now, I actually got mine off eBay and I got it for a pretty good price, brand new, sealed. So I assume that someone ordered it, maybe tried to scalp with it and it didn't work out. Maybe that's why they were selling it for such a low price. I don't know, but I have it and I've got to say, this thing looks really cool. Now, I've actually been using another minimalist phone for a few months now, the Light phone, and I've absolutely loved it, but I decided that I want to pick this thing up since it has a few things that the Light phone doesn't, namely USB-C, a meditation timer, and a few other odds and ends. It also does just look really nice, so I wanted to have this. Now, this isn't a full review by any means, it's just more of an unboxing video. Maybe in the future I'll make a full review, but frankly, I haven't used this thing for anywhere near long enough to make a review, and in fact, haven't even turned it on yet, so we're going to do that together. I also have the Mudita Pure cover. Now, I believe that this was sent to Kickstarter backers, but if you were to order this phone now, this comes separately, but I got it included because I believe this was sent to a Kickstarter backer. So then, with all that said, let's take a look at it. So on the front here we have a very minimalist box. It's very nice. Mudita Pure, your modern minimalist phone. And modern it is indeed. A lot of dumb phones don't support 4G, which is really unfortunate since 2G and even 3G is slowly being phased out. Which is really annoying because if you want to buy a cheap dumb phone, you can't really do it because it won't work on a lot of carriers. So you have to step up and get something a little bit more expensive, like this. If we flip it over, Mudita Pure, enjoy life offline. Same thing on the other side. And on the back here we have Mudita Pure, enjoy life offline. Got some stuff here, some features. High-res e-ink display. E-ink it is indeed. I absolutely love e-ink, especially on a phone. Open source operating system, yes it is. And there's an open source desktop app that runs on Mac, Windows and Linux as well for this device. Ultra low SAR, kind of cool. Bluetooth, a Harman speaker, high quality components, long-lasting battery. Now I should just say, I can't speak from experience here because I haven't used this device yet, but apparently the battery life isn't that good, or at least from what some people have been saying on the forums, but apparently that is something that can be improved, but just be aware of that. 16 gigabytes of eMMC flash storage. I believe that can be used for music and stuff. No internet browsing. Cool to see that's a feature, and works as a data modem, which it does indeed. You can use this as a hotspot. The one annoying thing about that though is since it doesn't have Wi-Fi, you have to use a wired hotspot. There's some talk about having Bluetooth hotspots at some point, but that does essentially mean that if you're trying to use an iPad or something like that to tether off this device, not happening because it has to happen over a wire, which is really annoying, but it is what it is, and maybe at some point we'll have Bluetooth hotspots. So let's go ahead and open this up. And as you can see, there's a rather nice fabric string on the back, but it doesn't help quite as much as you'd think, especially not when you're trying to do it through a camera's viewfinder. And there we go, here we are. Mudita, sympathetic joy, the happiness that comes from other people's good fortune and well-being. Very sweet thing to name a company after. And if we open it up, we've got a welcome letter here and the phone itself. Well, first let's take a look at this. Hello, we are Mudita. Delighted to meet you. Thank you for putting your trust in our first product, Mudita Pure, a minimalist phone. Thank you for proving that using technology on your own terms is possible, that you're the one to choose the meaningful over the excessive. We need wisdom more than we need information. Choosing to go offline in the world of unlimited access and hyperconnectivity is truly an act of freedom. You are the engine of change. Welcome to the movement. We hope that you enjoy your experience, Mudita team. It's pretty sweet. And here is the phone itself. If we just take that out, you can see that there's also an instruction manual and stuff underneath there, but it's pretty brief, so there's not really much reason for looking at it. So if we move out of the way, now I've got to say this device looks really nice, but it's also actually quite big. Here's the Light phone for comparison. As you can see, this phone is huge. Not necessarily a bad thing, fits really nicely in the hand, and it does indeed feel very high quality, even though it is plastic, but just be aware this is quite a large device. So let's take a look around the device. On the side, you've got a silencer switch, Very useful. One of the most useful features on an iPhone, actually, I'm not sure why Android devices don't have them. On the top, you've got the power button. On the side, I assume that's volume control. You've got the SIM card tray. And along the bottom, USB-C. Thank you, Mudita. You've got a headphone jack, and you can actually lift this off to reveal the battery, and you've got a subtle logo here, very nice. One thing that does annoy me though, I don't know if you can see that, but this phone is new and there's already a scratch in it. Doesn't affect the functionality of the phone or anything, but come on guys, you've got to be more careful about that. And here you have the e-ink display, and as you can see, it is definitely e-ink because the phone isn't on, yet there is an image on the screen. Very cool. You've got the keypad here. These buttons are all very clicky and nice, as is the navigation thing. Should be no trouble navigating menus with this. And you have the answer and put call down button. And apparently that's how you turn the phone on. Well, guess we're turning it on now then. And there's the Mudita logo. Now I've got to say, the light on the screen does look pretty good. There's a little bit of light bleed, as I think it's a front light, which is very typical for e-ink. But not a huge problem, since most of the time when you're using this, you'll probably have that light turned off. And here we have the setup. It's a little bit slow to respond, but that's kind of to be expected with e-ink. So we select English, accept the license agreement, and let's configure the Mudita Pure. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and put a SIM card in this, and then I can get it set up. So I'll be back once I have the phone set up. Well, here we go. I've set the phone up, and it didn't take very long, and I've got to say, wow, I am immediately wowed by this device. You've got a simple menu here with some basic tools on it, but hey, that's what this phone is meant for. Under tools, you've got notes, which is one of the things that really annoyed me about the light phone. Didn't have a notes app. You've got a calculator as well. Now, the menu's not the most responsive thing in the world, but as I say, for e-ink, it's fine. You've got an alarm clock program, calendar. Now, I can't actually find a way to add custom events to here, so this kind of seems like something that might be work in progress. Or maybe I just don't know how to use it, I'm not sure. But it is there. You can obviously place calls. You've got contacts, messages. You've got actually quite a nice music app. You can press down, and as you can see, you can really nicely browse music that's on the phone, which again is another thing that annoyed me about the light phone. The music app wasn't very good. Now, to be clear, I do love the light phone, but these are two very different devices. There's a meditation timer here, which is very useful. You can change the options and stuff. And finally, there's the settings. Now, before we go ahead and open up the cover for this thing, there is one thing I just want to show you. We go into keypad light, the keys light up, absolute best feature. So now, let's go ahead and open up the Mudita Pure cover. Now this is a vegan cork cover, I believe. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. Now I've got to say, looks pretty nice. It's very soft, which I quite like. You got the subtle Mudita logo on there. Now I'm sure that things made out of cork are going to be a bit love it or hate it, but personally I kind of like it. So let's go ahead and turn this off, and then just go ahead and stick it into here. Let's have a look. There you go. Relatively easy to fit in. Seems to fit in there pretty nicely. And also this isn't a power button, it's actually a torch. I would probably trust this in my pocket. That's kind of cool. I would rather something that covered the top as well, but this is nice, especially if you get it as a Kickstarter freebie. But if you want to buy the cover as well, say it's not bad. So all in all, I haven't used the Mudita Pure enough to know whether I recommend it or not, but what I can say is I am absolutely in love with this device immediately. So be sure to stick around for more Mudita Pure content in the future. I thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.